this final episode of the ZX Specdrum. We're going to listen to a few of the other kits, look at the program which allows you to design your own kits by mixing the sounds together, and also how we can synchronize the ZX Specdrum to your DAW. I've already programmed a little pattern which uses all of the sounds. This is the original drum kit for reference. Okay, and we're going to go to the load save page, and we're going to load a voice, and because we're going to load a whole kit, we choose 9. Okay, so this is the Latin kit. Okay, and let's load again. And this will be the Afro kit. Okay, Afro kit. And then we have the Electro kit. Okay, let's check out the Electro kit. I had the Latin kit and the Electro kit. Obviously the normal kit comes with the program. I didn't have the Afro kit. So this is where the Div MMC really came into its own. On the SD card here, I have put the kit editor software. So let's just load that. Take the power off. I can disconnect the Specdrum. I was able to use the ZX Specdrum emulator on the Mac to save the Afro kit to the SD card, because we don't actually need the Specdrum itself, the DAC, to load and save individual sounds, as that is done by the mic and ear sockets on the back of the Specdrum. And if we go into the file structure and go down to my Specdrum folder, and here it is labelled Afro. So this is the software. It's quite simple. You can load and save kits, and you can also load and save individual sounds so that you can then load your favourite sounds to build your dream kit. And you can also reverse a sound. I don't remember ever doing that as a child. Speaking of which, this is what I used to have. I used to connect the Specdrum to this with a keyboard, and I would record the Specdrum whilst playing a bass line onto one cassette, and then after that I would play that cassette whilst recording on the other cassette and add other lines on top, and then literally take the cassette out, put it back in the left one and record another line until you got to the vocal, which you would generally do last. Okay, well I wouldn't really be showing you all this if it wasn't actually usable. So to go with my fancy new Blender 3D animation at the beginning of the video, I've written a little drum pattern. And we're going to sync this to Pro Tools. So I have a little polyvolver bass line running off the sequencer on here. It goes like this. And to synchronize the Specdrum, basically I'm running just a little sampler, and if I play you what I'm sending to the Specdrum, that click that you can hear playing off the drum machine is basically advancing the sequencer on each division. So if I just send that back out to the Specdrum, which is on output 5 and 6 right now, and on the Specdrum itself we're going to press synchro start, and I've basically connected that click coming out of that little drum machine to the ear, because that's the input, and when we hit drums and hit play on Pro Tools, you can see that it plays in time. It's worth noting that the sound I've used to actually trigger the Specdrum is really short. This is a clave as it is, and I'm just using a very short portion of it.
And by the end of the night, a finished product.
First thing will be some busy hi-hats like okay. And sometimes leave the snare out for a while. Alright, take it back to the top. Sometimes it's 0. You zeroed? Yep. Off you go.
And some months later, a restyled machine made its first appearance at the British Music Fair. Who is showing interest in it?
A few small recording studios and a lot of the people in the high street who want to make music at home with their home studios.
How'd you find it?
Yeah, it's an excellent machine, yeah. Works very well.
Would you buy one?
At this price I'd be very interested, yeah, for home recording, which is what I'm interested in myself, yeah.
Then why not do it at home for a 20th of the price? It's a studio that you can get in a Mini, what's wrong with that?
The fact that you can load in different sounds means that you won't get bored with the sounds that you've got internally. It's great. Price-wise, there's nothing to beat it.
I think it's, for what it is, the amount of money that you pay for it. Yeah, I agree with it.
They want to know why it doesn't cost £500.
For my own personal use, I wouldn't actually use one, but for teaching I would, because I could buy 4 of these for the price of one.
That's right.
High-tech Japanese thing, and it's made in England, etc. So
Right. You're getting there, definitely.
Right.
But with the new drum machine, they've moved out of the small niche market of home computer add-ons into the cutthroat world of international consumer electronics. Legal and production problems delayed getting the product to the shops in large numbers, by which time the multinationals had cut their prices. For Alan and Peter, the future is uncertain. Their foray into the mass market has not been as successful as they'd hoped, but the machine is proving popular with many musicians, and sales are finally picking up.